This is the sound of your car giving up. That little click, click, click that means you're stuck. The first thing you think is great, another $200 down the drain for a new battery. And the mechanics? The parts store guys? They want you to believe that once your battery dies, it's a brick. But here's the truth they don't tell you. You are being scammed. It's just sleeping sick, and they have the cure, but they'd rather sell you a new one. I'm going to show you how to take a battery that measures practically 0 volts, a battery that is completely useless, and bring it back to life. This isn't some quick, weird TikTok hack. This is real science. But what actually kills it, it's not just age. The actual killer is something called sulfation. Imagine your battery is a sponge. It's designed to soak up energy, charge, and squeeze it out, discharge. Inside the battery, you have lead plates and a liquid called electrolyte, which is basically water mixed with sulfuric acid. When you use your battery, a small, soft layer of lead sulfate naturally forms on those plates. When this happens, that soft lead sulfate starts to get hard. These hard crystals of lead sulfate cling to the lead plates like superglue. You can pour water on it all day, but it won't soak anything up. The battery is still full of potential energy, but the crystals are physically blocking the chemical reaction that creates power. It's not bad, it's blocked. And we are going to unblock it. It happens over months and years, slowly stealing your battery's capacity, making it hold less and less charge until, one morning, it just can't start the car. Let me give you a real-world example of how bad this gets. You might have a 60-amp-hour battery. When it's new, it can deliver 60 amps for 1 hour. The starter motor draws a lot of current. And if your battery can only hold half the juice, that little bit of cold weather or an extra minute with the radio on is all it takes to push it over the edge. Understanding this is the key to our whole plan. We aren't trying to do some weird chemical trick with Epsom salts or secret compounds. Those methods are often dangerous and rarely work long-term. We are going to use the correct tool to gently but persistently knock those crystals off the plates and return them back into the liquid where they belong. We are restoring the sponge. Okay, so the goal is clear. Remove the hard lead sulfate crystals. The answer is a piece of equipment that is cheap, easy to use, and something every single person who owns a car should have. It's called a desulfator, or more commonly, a battery maintainer that has a desulfation mode. We aren't just talking about a regular battery charger here, but the lead sulfate crystals are basically holding up a no vacancy sign. The charger just keeps trying and often ends up overheating the battery because the energy has nowhere to go. This makes the problem worse. A desulfator works completely differently. It uses a method called pulse conditioning. Imagine those hard crystals are like a tiny, stubborn brick wall. Pushing against it with constant pressure, a regular charger, won't work. It just makes the wall stronger. That's what pulse conditioning is. These aren't big, powerful jolts. The frequency and the sharp rise and fall of these pulses create a kind of mechanical resonance within the lead sulfate crystal structure. This resonance is key. It basically vibrates the crystals at a frequency that matches their bonding structure. The crystal shatters and dissolves back into the electrolyte liquid, and the plate is clean again, ready to absorb and release energy like it did when it was new. This is why the process takes time. You can't rush crystal dissolution. It requires patience and consistency. You are literally reversing years of neglect, one tiny vibration at a time. The device has to be smart enough to cycle between charging the battery and applying the desulfation pulses. It measures the battery's voltage and internal resistance, and when it sees the resistance is too high, meaning sulfation is present, it starts pulsing. Once the resistance drops, it knows the plates are cleaning up, and it goes back to a regular maintenance charge. This is not a 1-hour fix. I need to be clear about that. For a battery that is truly dead, showing less than 10 volts, you need to commit to this process for at least 5 to 7 full days. You hook it up, you forget about it, and you let the device do the work. Let's talk about the specific steps you need to take. This is the practical part. Step 1. Safety first. Always, always, always wear safety glasses. Even though we aren't opening the battery, lead-acid batteries contain a corrosive liquid and generate explosive hydrogen gas when charging. You do not want any accidental sparks or splashes near your eyes or skin. Get gloves. Work in a well-ventilated area, like your garage with the door open or outside. Step 2. Get the right tool. You need a maintainer, not just a charger. Look for something that specifically says battery desulfator or pulse repair mode on the box. You can buy these online for a lot less than the cost of a new battery, often $50 to $100. It's an investment that can save you thousands over the years across multiple vehicles. Step 3. Disconnect the battery. For the best results, take the battery completely out of the car. Why? 2 reasons. First, it isolates the battery, so the desulfator can focus purely on the task without any tiny electrical draws from the car's clock or computer confusing its voltage readings. Second, and more importantly, it makes it safer. You don't want to accidentally short the terminals to the car's body or have the charging voltage mess with the car's complex electronics. Disconnect the negative, black terminal first, and then the positive, red terminal. Lift the battery out and put it on a workbench or the floor, on a piece of cardboard or wood, not bare concrete. Step 4. Hook it up. Connect the desulfator's clamps, red to positive, plus, and black to negative. It's critical you get this right. Plug in the desulfator and turn it on. Most modern desulfators will automatically detect that the battery is severely discharged and will kick into a special repair or desulfation mode. You might see a light blink or a screen display pull or repair. If you have to manually select a mode, choose the deepest repair setting available. Step 5. Wait and wait some more. This is the hardest part. You need to be patient. I told you it can take up to 7 days. During this time, the desulfator is sending those high-frequency pulses, gently cracking and dissolving the lead sulfate crystals. You will notice the battery voltage slowly creeping up over the next few days. It might go from 10 volts to 11 volts, then 11.5, and so on. This voltage increase is the physical evidence that the plates are being freed and the battery is starting to accept and hold a charge again. Don't interrupt it, don't check it every hour. Let it run the full cycle. Many of these smart chargers will automatically switch from repair mode to float or maintain mode when the voltage hits a peak, usually around 12.7 volts. This tells you the desulfation is mostly complete. Step 6. The final test. Once the desulfator signals the job is done, usually a green float light, disconnect it and let the battery sit for about 12 to 24 hours. This is called a load test, but a simple version. A good battery, once fully charged, should hold a voltage of about 12.6 to 12.7 volts after a day of sitting. If the voltage drops sharply, say down to 12.0 volts or less, it means the battery has an internal physical defect that desulfation can't fix. And then yes, it's truly a brick. But most of the time, the voltage will hold steady. This is the true test of capacity. If it holds the voltage, it means the plates are clean and the battery is ready to be put back into service. Reinstall it in your car, positive first, then negative, and start it up. You will notice the starter motor spinning faster and stronger than it has in years. Now I want to address 2 big common myths that people try when they are desperate. You might see videos online telling you to try these things, and I'm telling you now, do not do them. Myth 1. Epsom salt or distilled water. The idea here is that adding Epsom salt, magnesium sulfate, or just plain water will somehow fix the battery. The theory is that the salt can help dissolve the crystals, or that the water is needed to bring the electrolyte back to the right concentration. Adding distilled water is necessary only if the liquid level is low, which happens through natural evaporation. But adding Epsom salt or anything else is extremely risky. It changes the chemical balance inside the battery in ways that are hard to predict, and you can end up creating a chemical reaction that generates excessive heat or gas, potentially causing the battery to swell or even burst. Do not open the caps unless you are absolutely sure the liquid level is low and you are only adding distilled water, nothing else. The controlled electrical pulsing of a desulfator is the safe, proven method. Myth 2. Extreme overcharging. Some old-school mechanics will tell you to hit the dead battery with a high-amp charger, like 40 amps, for a short time, hoping the massive current will blast the sulfation away. This is incredibly dangerous. The massive current creates intense heat inside the battery, which can warp the lead plates, literally bending them until they touch, causing an internal short circuit. This is instant death for the battery. It also causes the water in the electrolyte to boil off too quickly, which can damage the plates above the liquid line. The beauty of the desulfator is that it uses a gentle, calculated electrical trick, not brute force. So, to summarize the technical side, We are using high-frequency, low-energy pulses to create a micro-vibration in the lead sulfate crystals, breaking their bond to the lead plates without damaging the battery itself. This is the only safe and effective way to chemically and physically restore the battery's ability to accept and hold a full charge. The cost of a new car battery today, depending on your car, can be between $150 and $300. The cost of a good desulfating maintainer, about $70. If you fix just one battery, it has paid for itself. If you keep it hooked up to your boat, motorcycle, or classic car over the winter, it stops sulfation from happening in the first place, meaning your battery lasts 5, 6, 7 years instead of just 3. This isn't just about restoring a dead battery, it's about making all your batteries last exponentially longer. Think of it this way. What if you could take all the tools and machines you use, your phone, your laptop, your power tools, and instead of buying a new battery every couple of years, you could just plug them into this magic machine for a few days and get the original life back? That's exactly what this tool does for your car. It changes the entire game of battery ownership. This is especially important for vehicles that sit a lot. That classic Mustang you only drive on weekends? The RV parked out back? Those are sulfation magnets. They need a maintainer, even if the battery is brand new. Hooking up a smart maintainer during the off-season prevents the problem completely, meaning you never have to go through the headache of a dead battery again. Prevention in this case is easier than the cure, but the cure is always there if you need it. Let me talk a little more about the differences in the types of batteries you might encounter, because desulfation works slightly differently for each. Standard flooded lead-acid batteries. These are the most common and the ones we've been focusing on. They have caps you can sometimes pop off. These respond the best to the pulse desulfation method because the lead plates are fully exposed to the liquid, allowing the dissolved sulfate to circulate freely once it's broken off. AGM, absorbed glass mat, batteries. These are often used in newer cars with start-stop technology or high-performance vehicles. They don't have liquid sloshing around. The electrolyte is held in fiberglass mats. They are much more resistant to vibration and deep discharge. While they suffer from sulfation just like the regular ones, they require a charger that has a specific AGM mode for charging. The desulfation pulse is usually lower voltage and more controlled as you don't want to overcharge them, which can permanently dry out the mats. Always check your desulfator to make sure it has an AGM setting if you own one of these. Gel cell batteries. These are thicker and use a silica agent to turn the electrolyte into a thick, gooey gel. They are very sensitive to high voltage. If you overcharge a gel battery, you create gas pockets inside the gel that can't escape, leading to permanent damage and capacity loss. Because of this sensitivity, desulfation is possible but needs a dedicated gel mode on the charger, which applies an even gentler and lower voltage pulse to avoid heat and damage. The point is, the science of desulfation, the pulse conditioning, works across the board, but the smarter the charger, the better it can tailor that pulse to the specific needs of the battery type, ensuring you don't save the battery from sulfation only to kill it with heat. Spend a little more money on a quality, multi-stage, multi-chemistry desulfator, and you're buying a tool that will last you decades and keep every one of your battery-powered vehicles in top shape. Think of all the car batteries you've thrown away over the years. That's probably hundreds, maybe even $1,000 sitting in a landfill right now, all because you didn't know this one simple trick. You listen to the industry, which benefits from you believing a battery is disposable, but it's not. It's a heavy-duty, rechargeable component that just needs a little bit of technical love every few years. Knowing this fact is power. It puts the money back in your pocket and makes you the local expert when a neighbor comes running, asking for a jump start. You won't just jump them. You'll tell them why their battery died and how to fix it for good. This isn't just about saving $200. It's about being independent and smarter than the person trying to sell you a replacement. You're taking control of your car's maintenance and pushing the lifespan of a critical component far beyond what the manufacturer and the sales clerks tell you is possible. It is a long process, but it is 100% worth the wait. Climax, our key moment, the battery comes back. You've waited 7 days. You might have even forgotten about it. The smart charger is finally showing a solid green float light. You disconnect the clamps and you hear that little thunk as the cables drop. You lift the battery. It's heavy. It's been sitting for a week. You take your digital multimeter, the most important tool you have, and you put the red probe on the positive terminal and the black probe on the negative terminal. For a battery that was practically dead, showing 10.0 volts, you now see a number pop up. It's not 12.0, it's not 12.3. It is 1265 volts. That number, 1265, is the magic number. That is a fully chemically charged battery. It means the pulse conditioning worked. It means the hard crystals are gone. The gates are open. The plates are clean. The capacity is restored. You put it back in your car, positive first, then negative. You close the hood. You get in, you put the key in the ignition. You turn it. Instead of the agonizing click, click, click or the slow, painful drag, you hear the engine roar to life. Not just start, but turn over with an energy and speed you haven't heard from your car in years. That feeling, that moment of knowing you just saved yourself $200 using simple science, that's the payback. That's what they don't want you to experience. They want you to experience the panic, the rush to the store, and the quick, easy sale. You chose the smarter path. You chose restoration over replacement. Conclusion summary. So here's the quick recap. That dead car battery is most likely only suffering from sulfation, hard crystals blocking its ability to charge. Don't fall for the simple replacement scam. Buy a dedicated desulfator maintainer, not a simple charger. Hook it up safely, disconnect from the car, and let it pulse condition the battery for up to 7 days. That small investment in time and equipment will not only revive your current battery, but will protect every battery you own from dying early, saving you serious cash and a ton of hassle. Call to action. Click subscribe so you don't miss the next money-saving car hack.